Key focus. Up to now, you've done something most people never do. You slowed down. You looked at your spending. You learned how to filter expenses instead of blindly cutting them. You built discipline. That matters. In fact, without that, everything else we're about to do would collapse. So let me say this clearly before we go any further: expense control is not wrong. It is necessary. But it is not enough. Think of expense control like putting a lid on a leaking bucket. If the bucket is leaking, you must fix the holes. That's what you've been doing. But once the leaks are fixed, there's a hard truth most people don't like hearing. You can only tighten a lid so much. After a point, there is no more room to squeeze. That's the ceiling of expense cutting. You can stop eating out. You can cancel subscriptions. You can negotiate bills. You can delay purchases. All of that helps. But there comes a moment when cutting further doesn't improve your life. It starts shrinking it. And that's the point where people either get stuck or they shift gears. This video is about that shift. Until now, you were playing defense. Defense keeps you safe. Defense protects you from damage. Defense prevents losses. But defense alone never wins the game. At some point, you must play offense. In your financial life, offense means income. Here's the simplest way I can say it. Savings protect. Income accelerates. Savings act like shock absorbers. They help you survive emergencies. They reduce anxiety. They give you breathing space. Income, on the other hand, changes direction and speed. Income decides how fast you move forward. Income decides how many options you actually have. Most people reverse this sequence. They say, first I'll save more, then I'll think about earning more. And that sounds responsible. It sounds mature. It sounds safe. But in reality, that mindset keeps people stuck for decades. Let's bust a few myths right now. The first myth is, I'll focus on income later. Later usually means never. Because life doesn't pause. Responsibilities increase. Energy fluctuates. Comfort zones harden. If you don't intentionally create space for income expansion, your life will automatically fill that space with more expenses, more obligations, and more reasons to postpone. The second myth is, I don't have time. No one ever has extra time lying around. Time is created by priorities, not found by luck. If you always wait for a perfect, free schedule, income growth will never happen. The question is not whether you have time. The question is whether this matters enough to make time. The third myth is the most dangerous one. More income means more stress. This belief keeps people emotionally loyal to limitation. Stress does not come from income. Stress comes from chaos. Stress comes from doing random things without systems. Stress comes from chasing money without clarity. Structured income, aligned with your life and values, often reduces stress, not increases it. Let me give you a reality check that most people ignore until it's too late. If you rely on a single source of income, you are not safe. It doesn't matter how stable your job feels. It doesn't matter how long you've been there. It doesn't matter how loyal the company looks. One income stream is one point of failure. In an unpredictable world, that is not a strategy. That is hope. This is not about fear. This is about design. Your expenses are mostly fixed or semi-fixed. Your income, if designed well, is expandable. One has a ceiling. The other has leverage. Wealth is built on leverage. Now, before your mind jumps to images of hustle culture, sleepless nights, or flashy side hustles, pause. That's not what this program is about. Income expansion here is not about ego. It's not about showing off. It's not about chasing money for status or comparison. Income expansion must serve something deeper. It must serve freedom. Freedom from constant worry. Freedom from being trapped by one paycheck. Freedom to say no when something doesn't align. It must serve peace. Peace of mind. Peace in decision making. Peace when markets move or life throws surprises. And it must serve purpose. Your family. Your health. Your time. Your ability to live life on your terms. If income growth is driven by ego, it burns you out. If it's driven by values, it stabilizes you. Think about this for a moment. Why did you even start managing expenses seriously? It wasn't to become miserly. It was to regain control. Income is the next logical step in that same direction. More controlled income gives you more controlled choices. There is another hard truth we need to acknowledge. You cannot compound what does not exist. Investments grow surplus. Surplus comes from income. No surplus means no real compounding, only hope and small percentages on small bases. That's math, not motivation. So when people say, "I'll just invest smarter," without addressing income, they are trying to outthink a math problem instead of feeding it properly. Let me simplify the entire logic of this phase. Expense control stops damage. Income growth creates progress. You need both. But in sequence. You've already done the first part. That's why this is the right time to shift focus. Now here's the most important reframing I want you to carry forward. Income is not something that happens to you. It is something you design. It doesn't have to mean working more hours. It doesn't have to mean burning weekends. It doesn't have to mean quitting your job or taking reckless risks. Income can be expanded through better use of skills you already have, systems that work even when you're not present, people and networks that create leverage, and technology that reduces effort per unit of output. You'll learn all of this step by step in the coming weeks. Not today. Today is about readiness. Before we move ahead, I want you to check in with yourself honestly. If your income stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, how would your life look? Would you feel relaxed? Or would you feel tight, cautious, constantly calculating? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that discomfort is information. Don't ignore it. This week is not asking you to act big. It's asking you to think clearly. Which brings me to your action for this video. I want you to write one sentence. Just one. No overthinking. No perfect wording. One honest line that answers this question: why income, and why now? Not why income in general. Not why money matters in theory. Why income expansion matters to you, at this stage of your life, right now. It could be about reducing anxiety. It could be about creating options. It could be about protecting your family. It could be about reclaiming time. Whatever it is, make it real. Once you write that sentence, don't hide it in a notebook. Pin it to your dashboard. Put it somewhere you will see it. Because in the coming weeks, when effort feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar, that sentence will remind you why you started. This is the moment where many people hesitate. They think, "I'm not that ambitious," or "I'm okay with less." Wanting stable, sufficient income is not greed. It's responsibility. It's maturity. It's choosing design over drift. You're not switching from discipline to recklessness. You are switching from containment to creation. In the next few weeks, we'll explore real, practical income paths. Not fantasies. Not shortcuts. Real opportunities that work in the real world, for real people with real responsibilities. But for those to work, this mental shift must happen first. So let me leave you with this simple line. Savings help you sleep better at night. Income helps you wake up with options in the morning. You've already learned how to protect. Now it's time to accelerate.